Hello, welcome to IGManager-TV-Quick-E for May 13th, 2014. In this Quick-E, we're going to review IGManager eINV and the MDI electronic invoice. MDI provides their resellers their invoices in an electronic format. So we're going to import this CSV formatted file into the IGManager DSD system using the eINV function. In order to set this up, there's going to be a couple of things you need. You're going to need a dsd.exe dated at least May 12, 2014. You're also going to need to have under the IGM directory a directory called templates. And then in that template directory, you're going to need a file called mdi.dsd. mdi.dsd file tells us what we're going to do with what information we're going to get from what file. So the first section in it is some of the basics of this import. Now we're not going to go through what all these mean. We're just going to hit a couple of them. The first one is it's a file type of CSV. We're going to prompt for the source file name, and the UPC has a check digit. Those are some important things to know. The next section is the import fields. This says where we're going to get the information from. You're going to notice we're not reading a lot from this file. The only thing we're going to read is the UPC, obviously, a description, case pack, case cost, received quantity. You're also going to notice that we say we're going to import to DSD, but we're not going to import to the item file. That is important because MDI has told us we should not be using this file to actually host or maintain pricing in the system. So what we're going to do is we're going to read in a temporary description, case pack, case cost, and received quantity just for the use of making an invoice in the DSD system that we can then use to update our on-hand counts in the IGManager system. So let's go through and see what this is actually going to do. When you click on the eINV button at the top of DSD, it's going to give you a list of templates. This is going to list all the .dsd files in the IGM/templates directory. In this case, we only have one called MDI eINV, so we're going to select it and go next. Next, it's going to ask us to find the file we want to read in, so we go ahead and find it. And then we get this little screen explaining to us what we're doing and what we're getting ready to do. So we're using the template mdi.dsd, which it has a description of MDI eINV. We've selected a source file of whatever that is, and it will be different every time. Source type file is CSV. Source UPC has a check digit. Now I know it says all retails will be imported, but we never told it where a retail was, so it's not going to do it. Now in eINV, there's two processes. There's a pre-process and an import. A pre-process goes through what you've told us to read in, and we're going to do other things to it, like give you what our current retail is and stuff like that. We're not doing anything like that with this file. We are just going to import, so we're only going to have the import button. And when we click the import button, nothing exciting happens except that we get a project bar, and it then says complete and click done. So we click done. If you go into review invoices in DSD, you'll see your invoice listed there with today's date. Its invoice number will be eINV and the date and time that you did the import. The vendor is eINV because that's where it came from, and everything else is basically blank. That's because all we're using this import to do is to update our on-hands. So if we go ahead and click on that invoice, we're going to see it looks just like something we would have received in with the handheld unit or from the back room. If we go to print it, you'll notice a couple of things are not quite normal. One, if you look at the right, you'll see that extended retail and unit retail are blank because we did not read that from the file. We only read in case cost, case pack, and quantity, which then directs me to the left-hand side bottom there where you see UPC 2200001411, the Starburst Morph SS, whatever that is. You'll notice that its pack and its size description on this screen are coming up as 1 and blank. What that tells me is I don't have that item in my system, because if you remember back to our DSD, we were not importing a size description. So if there's no size description here, there's no size description in our item file, which means we probably don't have this item. And I can really guess that by the fact that the pack is 1. Don't worry about that. That means when we go to post this invoice, it's just going to skip this item because all we're doing once again is updating on hands of items we've got. So when we go back to our receive, we go down to the right-hand side and click on post invoice. It'll go through and chew and update the system. And what we can do is when you go into an item, if you go to the bottom, the picture of the box with a barcode on the side, you'll get the leftmost green area says current on hand of 24, last received 5/13/14, which means today. So what we've done is we read in, I believe the item is the one right above where we had the blank there, which is 34/70/15, the Hershey's milk chocolate. You notice the case pack is 24 and we received 1 in it. So what makes sense is that we now have 24 on hand. and it received in today. That's basically all there is to reading in the MDI electronic invoice using IGManager's eINV system. Thank you for watching and see you next time.